In your packages, do I have people on the phone?
Yes.
Hello, people on the phone. Where? Hello. Your package might your package might be a little bit different out of order wise, so I'll go through each document. It's pretty close, but I kind of rearranged it a little bit from what I had sent over. And the first one is just a little outline of the product itself. Build one house. I'll probably start yelling when I talk to the phone now. So basically, it's an all-in-one custom construction loan. It's a 30-year AM loan, and it's technically a 31-year loan. Because we gave you 11 months to build, with the 12th month converting it to the P&I and collecting of reserves. So it's interest only during construction. If the borrower has to bring money to the table, their money is dispersed first, interest free. So we don't start because we require all that 20%, and if they have to bring in, $250,000, we're going to disperse their money first, interest free, until we get into the construction funds. I deal with the builder a lot. I do all the inspections. I do all of the funding of the draws. I'll meet with the builder. I'll deposit to their account. They can open an account with me, so I kind of take care of them. Customers can call me throughout. We really scrutinize our builders. We're doing a credit check. We get financials on them, calling subs and suppliers, making sure they're paying their subs. And so if I'm throughout the project finding out they're not doing that, I'm getting a lot of preliminary liens, and those are pretty general, but if I get the certified ones, I'll stop the project. So we kind of take control over it as the bank, protecting the bank and the client. I haven't had any issues. Do a lot of construction loans, and I haven't had any issues. So we'll use their money first. If they already have the lot equity, of course, a lot of times they don't have to come in with any money down at all. If they're purchasing the lot, we're going to use appraisement. So if they've owned their lot 12 months or longer, we're going to give them lot equity on appraised value. If they purchased it within that 12 months and they're going to build in 6, we're going to give them purchase price on appraised value. So if they own it pretty clear, there's their down payment. If they have a small loan, we're going to pay it off. They can have the difference in the equity, and we're going to actually go into a worksheet that you guys can actually work through with your clients as you're trying to talk about the product. And I don't know how it works on whole stuff. When you meet with clients, you actually go over different products, or are you just taking loan applications and finding the best fit for the client? Or I don't know how it works.
We're going through all the products.
You're going through all the products with them. How are you?
Good.
I know you.
Fine, thank you.
So you actually go over products with them. Okay, so good. So I've given you tools to kind of talk through that product with them. If you have questions along the way, of course you can funnel to Robert and then funnel them through me, if they have to. But it is simple. It's a 30-year. So if we think the project is going to be $1.5 million or larger, it's a large project. There's no way we're going to build this in 11 months. What I like to do, rather than charge the client extension fees down the road, if we know that, let's go ahead and ask for an 18-month bill or a 2-year bill. Let's just say it right up front. Underwriting's pretty usually, user-friendly about that, so that we're not feeding the client to death after construction, knowing there's no way they can build in 11 months. Things happen, even if we think we can get something done in 11 months and it doesn't happen, we can always extend the project. But we kind of know going forward on the larger projects, I've gotten up to 18 months to build before, because we just need it, we know we need it. So you can kind of think outside the box when you're dealing with your clients with the construction loans. Is there a fee for doing a longer build time?
Yeah.
No. Oh, sorry. No. Not if we ask for it up front. If we don't ask for it up front, then yeah, there's I think it's, I haven't done extension in a long time, but I believe it's another 0.5% fee on their original loan amount to extend that out for 6 more months. And we do it in 6-month increments. I'm saying let's just ask for 18 months if we know it's going to be a large project. And we're going to have those large projects. Back in the day when we were doing spec construction, all my spec construction loans were 24 months because we knew it was going to take a long time for those tree homes, to be built, or the desert highlands, so we can ask for it. We have the 90-day rate lock, which is really big. Permits are taking a long time right now, so sometimes we need that. We cannot fund the loan if they already own the land. We cannot fund the loan without the permits in file. If they're purchasing the land because they're not entitled, they're not going to get permits might take another 6 to 8 weeks to get. So that's why we do the 90-day rate lock. And we're usually within that 90-day if the permits are an issue.
Say 90 days is a good number if they already apply.
Yes. And not that we need the 90 days, but let's protect it for 90 days. There's a rate lock fee. It's like earnest money, it's a deposit, so it's a 0.5% of the loan amount that we require. And that's just the security to Washington Federal that we're going to go through all this work and you're going to do your loan with us. If you come to me and say, you know what, I can get it better down the road, we're going to keep that rate lock fee. Okay? But if it just falls through, the appraisal doesn't go through, it all falls apart, we're not going to keep their fee. But if they truly are just going to, you know, we don't like the program after all, we're going to walk, we'll keep the fee. Doesn't happen very often, if ever. I mean, I've never had to keep a rate lock fee. But the 90-day rate lock fee, so it's earnest money. Through wholesale, you require the application deposit. Do you guys need to know about that? What we collect up front as a lender or anything like that? Okay. If somebody owns 10 acres, we'll go up to 10 acres. That doesn't happen very often either, but if they just have a huge piece of land and want to build a really big house on it, we can do it. You ask questions, if they come to you and you don't really know if that's something that we can do, let's ask. It might be something we can do.
Regional, just Phoenix Metropolitan, or are you going to go up to Flag or over Pine Top?
Prescott, because we have a branch there.
Only where you have rain.
Yeah. And Tucson. We have branches in Tucson, up in Prescott. We'll go in the valley as far as Casa Grande, Maricopa, Rio Verde.
And your communication during the construction process, is it strictly between you and the borrower, or will you also keep us informed as well?
The loan's funded at that time, so I don't know. Again, I don't know at that time how that works. Once Washington Federal funds a regular loan for a client, you're done, right? So once we fund it, it's done. It's a closed loan. It's done. So I don't know. I don't know.
You're paid at
I'll do
closing.
whatever.
You're paid at closing if you follow.
It's just the service aspect following up.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Certainly.
So Robert,
But it's a show.
if somebody walks into a branch,
Yes,
is the product the same?
product's the same.
Pricing the same?
Pricing is the same.
Good. Okay, so we won't lose a client because they said I walked into a branch, I gotta have.
Right.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Or less fees.
And once you get into the system, you have the client into the system. There's a check balance there where if they do walk into the branch a week after they do the 1003, we'll know that, and we will not allow that to happen.
Okay.
And speaking on that too, I think it's a really good idea because these are your clients that are now going to be my clients. I like to go to closings. I think that's a very good fit when we get to that point through the nice introduction. If we can both, whoever's the broker, whoever, they need to know that I'm going to be handling their loan. Okay, even Robert can be there if he wants, but I really will be handling the loan. Once it's all said that I am going to work directly with the client for that loan. So I think that's a really good introduction phase so that you will always have the comeback client, but they need to know who I am. Right? So I go to closings all the time.
So when it rolls to the firm, there's that mini closing, right?
No, it's done. I'm gonna flip a switch. Yeah. The only thing I would get back with the borrower with, and that's something we could talk about at closing, is how it kind of works at the end. And that's really, I would be collecting their reserves deposit. And usually they have money left over in the last draw unless it's all going to the builder. I'm thinking overbuild, so we don't offer that through oneself. So yeah, all the money's going to be dispersed. So what I would be asking your clients for at the end, and my clients now, is the reserves deposit. How much do I need to pay another year's homeowner insurance to pay taxes next time they're due? So not a fee or anything, but funds that I don't collect up front because we're not collecting reserves up front. They don't pay interest at closing. They don't pay escrow at closing. This is a straight interest only loan until I flip the switch. But they'll know what their payment is. What the beauty of it too, let's say we have an 11-month bill. They have an 11-month bill and they can bill it 4 months or 5 months. They have the option to continue to pay interest only until I flip the switch, or they can convert it early and start paying principal and interest now. So they have that option. The rate's not going to change. The rate is the rate. When they close, that's the beauty of it too, because it's a one-time close. They're not at rate risk, and we know rates are on the rise. So it is nice, for that, for the product being a one-time close.
So is the value going to be the appraised value after built?
Yes,
Or not?
that's the intent of the appraiser. So yes.
Yeah, so it's not going to be on a cost basis. Okay, so if there's gonna be some equity there, or hopefully, we could roll in the cost of demo.
So here's how this works in the beginning. Let's say we've got a total cost, acquisition cost, and we're gonna go over those sheets. We've got cost to build, we've got land, and we've got fees. And the example I've given you here, when we get there is 700,000, or 969,000, with $700,000 now. So if the appraisal comes at $1.5 million, we're only gonna lend on 969. So the client knows they have equity built in from the very beginning, but we're only gonna lend and do our 80% or lower LTV based on total acquisition cost at that point. Now, if I have acquisition cost of 969 and my appraisal comes in at 950, I'm gonna lend on 950. So it works the same. Is that what you're asking?
Well, no,
or?
because in this case, I mean, I used to work for US Bank, and we use the new value alpha, and that would be what would be, I give you 75% new value of whatever.
Of appraised value.
Of appraised value, okay? And where it comes into play is I got a couple clients now that are buying teardowns and tear us up, okay? They need to pay $700,000 to acquire the lot and the teardown. Then they're gonna have demolition costs to tear that building down and then start a building on a new. Okay, so the contractor will give them, yeah, but it might not, would that still be considered part of the cost to build the demo?
In retail, I don't know
Yes.
about hostels. Okay, so I just had one of those. I had a client buy a $735,000 house, and you put $350,000 remodel to the house. So I got an appraisal of $1.2 million. We used the $1.2 million to get where we needed to go, pay off the purchase, and now it's got cost to remodel. So is that kind of what you're asking?
Well, yeah, basically, I mean, because there's acquisition cost to buy this place, okay, and then there's gonna be a cost to demo it, and there's gonna be a cost to build.
Right, and the
And
appraisal.
these are gonna be complete scrapes.
Right,
you
and
know.
so the appraiser will take the purchase contract if they're buying something to demolish. So of course, that house isn't gonna be there, so I don't know how they would appraise that house if they truly know it's gonna be demolished. But how this particular would work, we got one appraisal. But with that appraisal, he had a purchase contract, he had a contract to build and renovate and add the basement and do all that, and that's where the appraisal came from. We used the appraisal in that total acquisition cost to get to my 80% of the value, or in this case 75, because it's $850,000 loan. So I don't know if I'm answering your question.
But
They're always gonna look at the lesser of total acquisition costs, and in this case, if you truly had a $30,000 and you could document a demolition fee, that would be part of the construction cost essentially. So tell me if I'm wrong, but you're gonna then look at $30,000, but it'll probably be in your general contractor's agreement.
Right.
So that's part of your total cost to build. So then they're gonna lend off the lesser of total cost or value.
Correct. Plus the purchase, whatever property they're purchasing, if it just happens to be that. Yeah. And I think that's always the case even with purchases versus, we got purchases out there, $850 and we get an appraisal of $750. We're all lenders use $750 out of the set, at the end of the day.
Back on the original question of fees, if somebody came directly into, per se, the bank, we're charging a 2% origination. One goes to us, one goes to you guys. So if we were to come in directly off the street to the bank, are you gonna charge 2% to do the construction, or are you gonna only charge 1% origination?
Well, it's 2%, but you're calling it both an origination fee and we don't. And I don't know that you guys do either. It's a 1% origination fee and it's a 1% construction fee. They will be charged 2%, period. Plus all the other fees, right?
How's that
Yeah.
construction fee, were you saying that's capped at 7,000?
It's capped at 700,000.
So if you're doing a $1.3 million loan,
It's
you're
capped
paying
at
$7,000.
$7,000.
Okay. And there's no closing costs.
Right. Yeah, so it'd be
Except for
less than
title
2.
fees.
And that's a construction
Title
fee.
fees at $1,125 for junk fees.
Well,
So the construction part stays at $700,000,
Right.
but the other 1 point goes all the way as high as low.
so it's so I don't want to confuse the two. The construction fee is capped at 7. The loan fee is the loan fee. It's
So if I did a $1 million loan,
1%.
it would be $17,000.
Yes.
Something for you guys to.
Yeah, but so 1% origination is always going to be there, never waived.
So it's
The
really
cap
not
is on the
2%.
construction fee.
It's always gonna be, in that case, it'd be 1.7, so.
So anything below 700,000 is always 2%.
I'd like to point out one thing, because I know the way these guys think. There is a prepayment penalty with these loans. It's a 4-year, 1% soft prepayment penalty. So if you're back to your wheels turning, hey, we're going to use that 3-year call and then refinance them out of it, it's not going to be an option. And these guys are smart by doing it. I applaud them for doing that because they're protecting themselves because they don't want a short-term loan on their books. So anyway, if you're thinking about the...
And we're going to talk about that. I actually have a sample of the prepay. It's never an issue with me because most of my clients, I know when I had my first meeting with all of you, that might have been an issue because there's short-term get out, but they sell their home, they're never going to charge the prepayment penalty, and you can put up to 20% principal in a 12-month period every year up to that 4 years. But yes, if you're going to go to B of A down the road, we're going to charge them 1% of the original loan amount because it was a lot of work put together, and I'm doing all the inspections. And that's why we have a 1% construction, so we don't nickel or dime off. It's just all encumbered at 1%. We said it's flat 1%, taken care of, but we're not going to show you because I'm going to, we're just not going to. So that's where that came from.
Because hypothetically rates go down and they refinance and they want to refinance with you still charge them the same time?
It carries over.
Carries over on
Yeah, I
the
do
new loan.
believe it carries over.
Okay.
We can pull that out. I have a copy of the prepay form here. It's about 4 into it.
If they refinance with us,
With you,
right, there's no exception.
they're paying the prepayment.
They do.
They can do,
They
they can,
add it on.
they can do a rate modification, that type of thing.
Oh, well, that's what I'm thinking. We
But,
don't.
but
we
as
agree
far
on
as
the
the true
rate.
refinance, it would be under the same
What's the rate
restriction.
It's a rate mod.
It's a lot cheaper for the client. They just come in and the rates are lower. We can charge them 1% of the loan balance and do a rate mod. Go back to title, go back to appraisal, go back to nothing.
They can pay down 20% a year without triggering it, but that's, once they get below, or above 20%, they will trigger the prepayment.
Or they're going to pay
But
it off
you
on
would
a
rate
mod.
mod, so if rates are a point lower, they can come in there and you'll basically the first year that it's a wash and after that they
Okay,
get
it just
benefit.
carries on. The prepayment just stays there. They don't have to pay it. Trying to pay that loan off and start a new loan because they want to amicably back to the
Right.
years. So I did put a copy of the addendum in there showing, that might scare some clients, but it is a soft prepay. They sell their house, we have a HUD settlement statement, we're not going to charge the prepayment penalty. Why don't we go ahead and pull out the first, I put a financing option forms in there kind of just to break down the fees of what I would typically charge or what the typical charges might be on a $700,000 loan. But when a client calls me, the 15 that call me every day, construction is huge right now. People are wanting to build their house. I don't know if you guys are getting the calls, but it's out there. The first thing I do when a client wants to talk about a construction loan is I do pull out my worksheet. And I filled out 3 different scenarios for you. One is they own their land free and clear, they have a balance on their land, or they're purchasing the land. So it kind of gives you some different scenarios. And the financing options form really just breaks down how I came up with their fees of $19,388 on a $700,000 loan. Which is kind of what the fees, which you guys all know and see as typical fees. So I basically just start, I put a question here, a questionnaire in here, kind of gets you to a place. It's like the 3rd page into it. It just, in order to start talking to somebody about the construction loan, you got to get to what's my loan amount going to be. Sometimes you got to help. They don't know how much they want to borrow, or they think they can borrow the whole acquisition cost, and they might be able to, depending on the land. So you got to get with what's the cost to build. I don't know. I haven't talked to a builder yet. What do you think it's going to be? What's in your mind? So you have to kind of probe, because we have to have a place to start to see what kind of a loan amount we're getting to at the end and how much it's going to cost you. I never even go into rates, or fees or anything. Oh, you are. And he had a good question, and that was, outside of the contract, can they also borrow those funds? Let's say they want to put a pool in, or they want to build their own casino, or they want to do something other than the builder's not going to do the pool in. Yes, it can all be a part of it. So at the end, it probably might still be their own cash coming to the table. They might not want to finance it and just, do their own pool for $50,000 out of pocket and not finance it. But yes, we can have. I didn't do any that way, but you can have a builder cost, and you can have an outside of builder cost. They can build in a contingency. If they want to finance a contingency and have their interest payments come right out of that and build in their own reserve during construction, they're more than welcome to finance that. If they've got room and they've got the money and they want to finance it, not have to worry about interest payments every month because they're billed, they're not automatic, they can do that. We can do that. We'll put any scenario together, whatever they're thinking, Then we take the land. In this particular case, their land is, let's say, worth $250,000. They own it free and clear. Their fees $19,000 because they told me they wanted a $700,000 loan. They want that best rate, even if it's more than 20% down. In this case, it would be a 74% loan to value, but they just know in their mind they want a $700,000 loan. So I figured out fees at $700,000, and then you take the total acquisition cost, subtract off their land, which is their equity. They've already owned that free and clear. I didn't put prepaid items in there. I didn't put deposits, but they will have application deposits. They will have rate lock deposits. They might have a deposit to a builder. They might have prepaids. All that goes in those middle sections, and you just start subtracting. So you take the acquisition cost, you start subtracting. In this particular case, their cost to close is $19,388 for a $700,000 loan because they own their land free and clear, and they've owned it for more than a year, and it was worth $250,000. So $350,000, they get all that equity too. So we can start working backwards from there.
So you give equity in the land value over a year, purchase price under a year.
Yes. And the unfortunate thing too is we all knew they might own it over a year and they're upside down on it, and so they're not going to get as much as they think, or they owe 71 and it came in 50. Doesn't mean we can't pay it off. They just have to bring in the cash to do it, right? I mean, so we've got some scenarios out there where our land stinks. It's still not up to where we want it to be. This scenario is same scenario on top, but they owe $150 on the lot, so they owe $150. So their lot equity is only $100. So minus the $700 of this particular case, they need to come in with $169,000 to close. And then on the last scenario, they're purchasing the lot, so we need to buy that lot for them and do their loan, and they still only want a $700,000 loan, so now they need to come in with $270,000. So that's kind of where those figures came in, because they're purchasing the lot with the project. At the end of the day, and you can talk to your clients about this too, we can go through all the steps, get credit approved, go through all of it. At the end of the day, it's all about the appraised value. And the whole thing can change by the time that appraisal comes in. Lot didn't come in enough, the appraisal didn't come in enough, borrowers want to put any more cash into it, so the appraisals, I haven't had any right now, but that's a good thing. I've done, I'm on my 17th construction loan since January. I have not had an appraisal issue yet, so that's the good news. A lot of people are still buying land, so like I said, I think the need is out there. With the prepaid items, the builder has to have the items that the client has paid for listed in his contract, in his itemized cost, for them to get it back as credit. So if they're using their own plans and they spent $10,000 and they already did their permits, and that's not a part of the $700,000 in his budget, they're not going to get it back. They just paid for that. So that can happen. But the builder has in his whole budget, which a lot of them do, plans, blah blah blah. They can still use the owner's plans, even though they pay for them. They might ask him how much you pay for those 10. Okay, well, we'll give you 10. So in that particular case, they can get it back as a prepaid item. But they need to have their receipts. Okay, that they have those prepaid items. The builder and the borrower will both sign, and this is a good tool to give to your clients. The custom construction loan guidelines and practices. Talks about their interest only, talks about how broad we like our draw a month, most of the builders are pretty credible they're gonna call me every week to go do a draw for them for, $5,000, but that's not gonna happen. I'll do one draw a month, but I don't make them take it the first 10 days of the month. I will go at random, whatever their best need is, and I guarantee them they'll have their money within 48 hours, usually 24 hours. So I'm really very, very fast, unless something horrible happens to me, but, builders don't have to wait for their money. Builders love Washington Federal, because they don't have to wait.
Will
They'll
you
have their money within 48 hours.
Can they draw deposits like on cabinets and stuff?
Yeah.
Like 50%.
We used to, we don't any longer. But that's why we kind of scrutinize the builder too. They have the cash and they get their draws so fast, but no, we don't do the 50%.
Okay.
And it works on a reimburse mode, so everything has to be nailed down, glued down, shut down before they're gonna get their money. So slabs poured, they call and say, okay, I'm ready for my first draw. I drive my car out there, I look, I take pictures. On the slab, I do have to get a foundation endorsement from the title company before I can release the funds. I let all my builders know, let me know a week in advance, in 4 days, let me order it. I usually have my foundation endorsement the same afternoon or the next day, so they are not having to wait for a draw because they give me enough heads up of when that slab's gonna be poured. So
They need to have 100% of the line item done for a draw, is that what you're saying? Nailed down,
yes,
glued down?
yes,
So framing, they have to do the whole framing?
right, just because they say materials on site and I go out there and see the lumber laying around, they're not gonna get money for it.
What's 50% done? No?
What do you mean 50% done?
Okay, let's say they've done half the framing.
Yeah.
5,000 square foot house, 2-story,
Yes,
first
they can
story and a
have
half is
that.
done. And you
Yes.
come out and say that they're 60% done
Yes.
with framing. You'll give them 60% of
Yeah.
the,
But I don't have, most built, they don't do that, but yes,
Okay.
I would do that, yes. Yeah, like for windows, they just have half the windows, it typically doesn't happen. They might have all the windows in one knot because they were hanging something of an electrician off of 100% of windows. Yeah. So, yeah, no, but in that case, yes, but 50% of cabinets that just need to be ordered,
no, right.
we used to do that, and
Right.
we got burnt a lot on that, so we stopped doing that. So it really has to be there, so whatever's there when I go, and they can tell me whatever line item they want, I do percent to draw, so they just ask for a number, I need $40,000, and I don't really care about the number, because what I do is I go out and I just put a percent complete, I add in my percent to complete, if it says they're eligible to draw 65 and they want 40, I'm good, if it says they can draw 40 and they want 60, they're gonna get 40.
Gotcha.
So I'm the one doing the, percent to draw, so. And we talk about it, I have a very open relationship with the builders, you tell me this is done and it's done, oh yeah, it's gonna be done next week, okay, next week's not gonna work, so I give you up to next week, and ask for that on the next draw, so I'm in constant contact with the builder.
Do you require the borrower to sign off on each draw or have countersigned checks or something?
Yeah, if it's a brand new builder, I always ask for the exception for the checks to be all drawn to the builder direct with the last 10%, and there's no exception on the last 10% of the draw, has to go to all three parties. And I typically am there for their final walkthrough as well, check in hand, so we just all are together and everybody's happy. And that check has to be made out to all three borrowers, or all three people, the builder and the borrowers. If we don't know the builder and they're brand new, I always ask for just checks to be made out to the builder with a whole harmless agreement signed by the borrower saying they understand all the checks to be drawn to the builder. More and more underwriting, especially on the larger deals, when we don't know the builder, they're saying no, they all need to be drawn to the builders. So the nice thing about that is, if the builder wants to open an account with Washington Federal, then I'll just put that check right in there and then I'll disperse it. Okay. If they have an issue with their bank because there's so many names on the check, it happens. If they all want to sign the check with me, I'll negotiate the check just to the builder's name. I mean, I make it work for them. It's user friendly. Okay. So it's just, typically it's to all of them, and they can send me a faxed or a scanned copy of the draw request that they all need to sign it, the builder and the borrower, just one borrower. Before I do the next draw, I need the wet signature on that original, the previous draw. And they know that, so when we close, I give them envelopes where they can drop it off my night drop. I'm not going to be the most convenient ranch for every location. So I'm way out in the East Valley, and most of my homes are desert hills, and so they can mail them to me. I'll give them envelopes. They can mail the original to me. If they live out there, they can drop it off. I'll pick it up. So we do try to make it as easy, and the client's real nervous about building, even though they have a builder. They're right there, their nose is in it, and builders like it away, but they want to know what's going on too. So we do try. I answer a lot of questions, hand holding
issues where the builder does it and doesn't go to the owner's specification, they won't sign up on draw request, correct?
Yeah, and we won't get in the middle
Right.
of that dispute. We'll shut down the project. We won't release funds, obviously until it's, and I've never run into that. I truly have not. Again, I do a lot of owner bills. But I haven't had any issues with that. And I suppose if I did, I would want something in writing from the clients that says their disputes have been, null and void. They're all happy and everything, and have that in the file just as backup, I think, to protect the bank. And, years past, we've had a situation where we completely had to shut down a builder and say, we're not, this home is stopped. You're just not doing justice by the client. And we've had to find a new builder, or let them find a new builder, bring somebody in to finish the home. So you do what you have to do to protect the client and the bank. I'm not protecting the builder, I'm protecting the client and the bank at that point. So, I did put in here too, you might be talking to a lot of builders, to have them send your clients to you, right? So that's good marketing, go get the builder, because the builder needs a banker they can work with that's easy, user-friendly. And Eric, you're a good example on that, if I could use you. Was the builder okay? I mean, I haven't really dealt with him yet because the file is so new, but you've met with the builder now, and he doesn't, I guess it's you to ask him, because he hasn't really dealt with Washington Federal yet, other than.
Well, he had another deal with,
Tucson.
he had another deal that he was working
Okay.
with you guys, so.
Okay,
Yeah, we're getting close to that stage where
okay,
they're, all the builder stuff's gonna really come up over the next week or two.
all
So
right, and then I'll be
we'll
out
see,
and
but
I'll
I'm
meet
sure
him
it'll be
and
fine.
see.
Yeah.
But once I build a relationship with your builder, they are happy because they are going to get their money very quickly. And that is big, if they're putting out a lot of money, especially on a large deal, they don't want to wait 14 to 20 days to get their money. And that's what they're waiting at other banks. I know this because the branch personnel aren't doing inspections and stuff. They're relying on other companies to do that. But I did put the builder checklist in your package and just the package, the forms that go with it. So you have blank forms here. The builder does not have to use our forms. It just has to be equivalent. So just so you know that, the builder does not have to use any of this as long as it's equivalent to what these look like. A resume, a financial statement, their itemized costs. They do not have, these are nice if they want to use them, but for them to look at this when they've got it on their computer, a spreadsheet that they can just plug in numbers, no, they do not have to use this. This is just a sample of what we require and what we'd like it to look like, but they do not have to use. Certain things they have to, our guidelines and practices, my W-9 form, but other than that, they can use whatever they want. This is just if it helps them out. They don't have to use our forms. Have I covered everything? Is there any other questions or?
I think we're right up on our time that I told everybody we'd be
Okay.
done. So, you guys are free to leave if you want to stay and ask more questions. I think that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Lisa, do you have a card or something?
I don't know. Oh, here, I brought everybody a treasure. Since we're talking about. Perfect. Okay, they're just measuring things because we're talking about construction loans. I wasn't going to give you my cards because it's really going through wholesale. I didn't want to step on toes. I brought them, but I didn't want to hand them. I didn't know how that worked. So.
Randy, you can outside. Flyers say.
I think it's probably better.
We could work on that. If you don't even mind.
how are you? Good, thanks.
I think take it out. You didn't have to. They took it out too. We just kind of got in.